Welcome to World of Coins, the place where history meets treasure. Here, every coin tells a story, from the oldest United States classics that shaped our past to the newest rare discoveries that amaze collectors today. If you love the thrill of uncovering hidden value, exploring the beauty of design, and learning the secrets behind coins worth fortunes, then you're in the right place. Join us as we dive deep into the world of rare U.S. coins, both old and new, and reveal the fascinating details that make them priceless. Top 1. The story of the United States of America. Lincoln 1-cent penny 1971 begins in a time when America was changing rapidly, a nation filled with innovation, hope, and transition. The year 1971 was more than just another date in history. It was the dawn of a new economic era, the beginning of the modern dollar, and a time when coins themselves were quietly evolving. In the heart of that moment, the humble Lincoln cent continued its proud journey, carrying the face of one of America's greatest presidents and a legacy that stretched back more than 6 decades. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, was a coin unlike any that had come before it. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and that figure was none other than Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president who led the nation through the Civil War and brought freedom to millions. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin became an instant symbol of patriotism and unity. By 1971, Lincoln's profile had already been a familiar sight to generations of Americans, a quiet reminder of strength, courage, and integrity. The obverse of the 1971 Lincoln penny carries Brenner's original portrait of Lincoln, his head turned right, gazing steadily into the future. Above him sits the word "Liberty," and to the left, the national motto, "In God We Trust." Beneath his profile, you find the date, 1971, a simple number that now holds unexpected value to collectors worldwide. The reverse of the coin, designed by Frank Gasparo, proudly features the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing unity and the enduring strength of the American people. The coins of 1971 were struck in massive quantities at 3 major U.S. mint facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint placed its small identifying mark below the date, no mint mark for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. While billions of these coins were made, not all were created equally. Tiny variations in the dies, striking pressure, and metal composition gave birth to several distinct varieties, some so rare that they became treasures worth small fortunes. During this period, the Lincoln penny was still made primarily of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This gave the coin a warm, reddish glow that collectors love to this day. Each fresh penny that left the mint shined like polished fire, a symbol of prosperity and daily life in America. But it was within these simple copper discs that numismatic magic was hiding, waiting to be discovered decades later. One of the most fascinating stories surrounding the 1971 Lincoln penny is that of the double die variety. This occurs when the coin's design is impressed twice at slightly different angles during the minting process. To the naked eye, it appears as though the letters, numbers, or even Lincoln's face have been shadowed or echoed. In 1971, a few such double-die pennies slipped through quality control and entered circulation. These rare errors would later become some of the most sought-after modern U.S. coins ever found. The doubling on the 1971 Lincoln cent is most noticeable in the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date, 1971, itself. Under magnification, collectors can see the clear separation of letters, a ghostly second image that makes the coin unmistakable. It's these tiny imperfections that transform an ordinary penny into an extraordinary treasure. Imagine for a moment a simple penny sitting unnoticed in a jar for 50 years. It has passed through countless hands, perhaps spent on candy or dropped in a wishing fountain. Then one day, someone picks it up, looks closer, and realizes the letters look slightly doubled. That's the kind of moment every coin collector dreams about, the thrill of turning an everyday coin into a historic discovery. The 1971 S-proof double-die penny is especially prized. Proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint for collectors, using carefully polished dies and planchets. They were never intended for circulation. Yet, even among these carefully made coins, a few showed dramatic doubling. Today, these proof double-die cents are among the rarest and most valuable modern Lincoln pennies known to exist. the mystery of how these double dies occurred still fascinates collectors. In 1971, die production was transitioning to newer technologies, but imperfections in alignment during hubbing could still occur. A tiny slip in machinery, a misalignment smaller than a hair's width, was all it took to create a numismatic masterpiece. Not all valuable 1971 pennies are double dies, however. Some errors came from improper planchets, where the metal blank was thinner or thicker than normal. Others were struck off-center, showing part of the design missing or shifted dramatically toward the rim. Such errors, though rare, became instant favorites among coin enthusiasts. There are even stories of 1971 pennies struck on foreign planchets, blanks intended for other denominations or countries. These coins often have unusual weights, colors, or diameters. When verified by experts, they command huge prices at auctions. Each one is a mystery from inside the mint, a small mistake that escaped into the world to astonish collectors decades later. As the years passed, the value of these rare 1971 Lincoln pennies only increased. Coin grading services like PCGS and NGC began certifying them, confirming their authenticity and preserving them in protective holders. A high-grade specimen of a 1971 double-die Lincoln penny, especially in mint state condition, can sell for astonishing sums. Collectors are drawn not just to the rarity but also to the story behind each coin. Every flaw, every doubling, every tiny imperfection represents a frozen moment in time, a day in 1971 when something extraordinary happened inside the U.S. Mint. That's what makes these coins so special. For beginners in coin collecting, the 1971 Lincoln cent is a wonderful starting point. It's a modern coin that's still accessible yet rich in history and full of surprises. It reminds new collectors that you don't need to search through ancient coins to find treasure. Sometimes, it's hiding right in your change. The beauty of coin collecting lies in discovery. People across America still check their pennies, hoping to find that doubled image or rare minting error. Some search bank rolls, others comb through old collections or family jars. Every now and then, someone gets lucky. That's the magic that keeps this hobby alive. The copper composition of the 1971 penny also adds a layer of intrigue. In later years, the U.S. Mint would switch to a copper-plated zinc design, but the pre-1982 coins like the 1971 issue have genuine weight and warmth to them. Collectors appreciate their look, feel, and sound, qualities modern pennies can no longer replicate. The 1971 penny also represents the bridge between two generations of coinage. It stands at the threshold between traditional minting craftsmanship and modern automation. Each coin carries within it the fingerprints of history, both human and mechanical. Today, when you look at a 1971 Lincoln penny under magnification, you're not just studying a coin, you're uncovering a story. You see the engraver's art, the precision of the mint, and the randomness of chance all coexisting on one small circle of copper. It's history in the palm of your hand. As the decades roll on, coins like the 1971 Lincoln cent become more than collectibles, they become artifacts. They remind us of a time when small details mattered, when craftsmanship met chance, and when even the simplest object could become a legend. It's fascinating to think that millions of these coins still exist in circulation or tucked away in drawers. Some may hold hidden secrets, minor doubling, off-center strikes, or other minting anomalies. The only way to know is to look closely, to examine every curve and letter. That's the essence of the numismatist's passion, patience, observation, and discovery. Auction houses and collectors have documented incredible finds, 1971 double-die Lincoln cents fetching thousands upon thousands of dollars. Each discovery fuels excitement in the coin community and reminds us that treasures can still be found in everyday life. For serious collectors, owning a 1971 Lincoln penny with a verified minting error is a point of pride. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of American history, a story of precision and imperfection coming together in the most unexpected way. Every time one of these coins changes hands, its story grows longer. From the moment it was struck to the day it's discovered, it carries the journey of countless people, each one unknowingly holding a small piece of treasure. And so, the tale of the United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1971 continues to inspire collectors, historians, and everyday people alike. It's proof that beauty and value can be found in the most humble places, and that even a penny can hold the power to change someone's life. The value of the rare and extraordinary United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny 1971 has been recorded at $145,000. If you have a coin like this or any other rare one, tell us about it in the comments, and we'll gladly share more information about your coin. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, comment below, and like this video so you never miss another fascinating story from the world of rare and valuable coins. Top 2. The story of the United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny 1975 is a story that bridges the old and the new, the simple and the extraordinary. It's a coin that most people have handled countless times, yet only a few have truly looked at closely. Behind its copper glow and familiar design lies a fascinating world of history, craftsmanship, and incredible rarity. The 1975 Lincoln penny may seem ordinary to the untrained eye, but for collectors, it represents one of the most captivating chapters in modern American coinage. The Lincoln penny has been part of American life for over a century. Since its debut in 1909, it has carried the image of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most admired and respected leaders in U.S. history. The decision to feature Lincoln on the cent was revolutionary. It marked the first time a real person, rather than a symbolic figure, appeared on an American coin. Sculptor Victor David Brenner designed the now iconic portrait, immortalizing Lincoln's thoughtful gaze on the obverse, while the reverse of the coin originally featured a pair of wheat ears, symbols of prosperity and growth. By 1975, the penny's reverse had long since changed. In 1959, to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint replaced the wheat ears with an image of the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This new reverse design brought a special touch. If you look closely, you can actually see a tiny representation of the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, making him the only president to appear twice on the same coin. The 1975 Lincoln cent was struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Each mint produced millions of coins, but as history often teaches us, rarity doesn't always come from how many coins are made, it comes from the few that are different, the few that escape the mint with something unique. And that's exactly what makes some 1975 pennies worth a fortune today. These small copper coins, made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, seemed perfectly ordinary when they were released. But deep within the striking process, tiny imperfections and mechanical mishaps gave birth to coins that were anything but ordinary. Some coins bore faint doubling, others were struck off-center, and a handful were struck on the wrong metal planchets, each one becoming a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Among the most fascinating varieties of the 1975 penny is the double die error. This happens when the coin's design is accidentally impressed twice on the die at slightly different angles. The result is a coin with doubled lettering or numbers that appear shadowed or split when viewed under magnification. On some 1975 pennies, doubling can be seen on Liberty, In God We Trust, or even on the date, 1975, itself. These double die varieties are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. To a casual observer, they might look like ordinary pennies. But to an experienced numismatist, they are masterpieces of minting error, a moment of imperfection frozen forever in copper. Each one is unique, a product of chance and mechanical precision colliding in the most unexpected way. There are also off-center strikes from 1975, where part of the coin's design is missing or misaligned. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. Imagine finding a penny where half of Lincoln's head is missing, replaced by a blank copper arc. It's not damage, it's a minting error, and collectors are willing to pay handsomely for it. Another rare and exciting variety is the 1975 Lincoln penny struck on the wrong planchet. These errors happen when a blank meant for another denomination accidentally finds its way into the wrong press. Some 1975 pennies have been found struck on dime planchets, resulting in thinner, silvery coins that look nothing like a normal cent. Others may have been struck on foreign coin blanks, giving them unusual colors or weights. These oddities are among the rarest finds in American numismatics. And then, there are proof coins, special pieces made at the San Francisco Mint for collectors. Proof coins are struck multiple times on polished planchets using specially prepared dies, giving them a mirror-like surface and razor-sharp details. In 1975, The Mint produced these coins in limited numbers, but even among proofs, rare varieties exist. Missing mint marks, cameo contrasts, and double dies can all make a proof coin worth far more than its face value. When you hold a 1975 Lincoln penny in your hand, you're holding more than a coin, you're holding a piece of American history. That small disc of copper carries the story of a nation, of artistry, and of the relentless march of technology. It has seen decades of change, passed through countless pockets, and perhaps even crossed oceans, carrying its humble value of 1 cent through time and history. The early to mid-1970s were a pivotal era for American coinage. The mint was experimenting with different metals, improving striking technologies, and dealing with massive public demand for coins. Amidst this whirlwind of production, errors were bound to occur, and those small errors are now the foundation of great numismatic legends. The beauty of collecting coins like the 1975 Lincoln penny lies in the thrill of discovery. A collector might search through rolls of pennies from the bank, hoping to find something unusual, an extra letter, a slight doubling, a misaligned rim. Most rolls yield nothing special, but every now and then, a treasure appears. That's the moment of magic, the heartbeat of the hobby. It's worth noting that the 1975 penny was among the last of its kind before major economic shifts began to affect U.S. coinage. Copper prices were rising, and within a few years, the composition of the penny would change. By 1982, the mint switched to a copper-plated zinc planchet, making the pre-1982 coins like the 1975 issue more desirable for their pure copper content as well as their historical value. To the collector, however, it's not just about the metal, it's about the mystery. Every coin tells a story, and every year holds its own secrets. The 1975 Lincoln cent story is one of quiet elegance, of rare mistakes that turned into wonders, and of ordinary coins that became extraordinary treasures. Many collectors dream of finding a 1975 penny in pristine condition, a coin that looks as fresh as the day it left the mint. Such coins, especially those graded mint state 67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can command astonishing prices. Combine that with a rare minting error, and you're looking at a coin that can change someone's life. Auction houses have seen remarkable examples of 1975 pennies sell for thousands upon thousands of dollars. Coins with perfect surfaces, strong strikes, and clear doubling are among the most valuable. Proof double dies from San Francisco, in particular, are known to bring record-breaking bids when they appear. The excitement of owning such a coin isn't just about the money, it's about holding a piece of American art that the world almost forgot. Each 1975 Lincoln cent carries the fingerprint of the nation's history, its economy, its innovation, and its dedication to craftsmanship. Collectors often say that the Lincoln penny connects the past and the present better than any other coin. It's the longest-running coin design in U.S. history, unchanged in its core appearance for over a century. Through the years, it has seen wars, recessions, booms, and celebrations. Yet, the familiar face of Lincoln remains, steadfast and timeless. Even today, millions of 1975 Lincoln pennies are still in circulation. Most are common, but a few, those rare varieties and hidden treasures, remain out there, waiting for sharp eyes to find them. Perhaps one sits unnoticed in a jar, a drawer, or a handful of change. The only way to know is to look closely. Coin collecting is a hobby that rewards patience and curiosity. The more you learn, the more you discover, and the more you appreciate the beauty behind each coin's creation. The 1975 Lincoln penny is a perfect reminder of that truth. It teaches us that history can be held in the palm of your hand. The value of the rare and extraordinary United States of America Lincoln 1 cent penny 1975 has been recorded at $125,000. If you have a coin like this or any other rare one, tell us about it in the comments, and we'll gladly share more information about your coin. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, comment below, and like this video so you never miss another fascinating story from the world of rare and valuable coins. Top 3. The story of the United States of America Lincoln 1 cent penny 1977 is one that takes us deep into the heart of American coinage, a tale that begins with simplicity and ends in extraordinary fascination. At first glance, it's a small copper coin, something we've all seen, spent, or forgotten at the bottom of a drawer. But behind this modest appearance lies a story of precision, craftsmanship, and a little bit of mystery that has made the 1977 penny one of the most talked about coins among collectors and treasure hunters across the nation. The Lincoln penny has been in continuous production since 1909, when it replaced the Indian head cent and introduced the image of one of America's greatest leaders, Abraham Lincoln, to the smallest denomination in circulation. The coin's designer, Victor David Brenner, immortalized Lincoln's likeness on the obverse, while the reverse originally featured 2 wheat ears framing the words, 1 cent. That design stood proudly for 50 years before being replaced in 1959 by Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial design, celebrating 150 years since Lincoln's birth. By 1977, the Lincoln Memorial design had become a familiar sight, but even after nearly 2 decades of production, each year's mintage told its own unique story. The 1977 penny might appear common, with millions produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, yet among these countless pieces of copper, a handful emerged that were anything but ordinary. These rare and valuable coins, whether through errors, pristine condition, or unique characteristics, became the hidden gems that collectors dream of discovering. Each 1977 penny was struck from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it a rich reddish-brown color that only time and oxidation could deepen. The obverse bore Lincoln's timeless portrait, his expression calm but filled with quiet resolve, while above him were the words, "In God We Trust." To the left of Lincoln's profile appeared the word, "Liberty," and to the right, the date, 1977, which for collectors today, holds more significance than one might imagine. On the reverse, the stately Lincoln Memorial stretched across the surface, detailed so finely that the tiny statue of Lincoln could be seen seated inside if one looked closely enough. The inscriptions, "United States of America," and "E Pluribus Unum," crowned the top of the coin, while 1 cent stood boldly at the bottom. It was a design that merged artistry and national pride, encapsulating the essence of America in a single coin. At the Philadelphia Mint, the 1977 pennies were struck without a mint mark, while Denver-issued coins bore a small D beneath the date. Both mints produced millions of coins, but the difference lay not in quantity, but in the few remarkable pieces that slipped through the mint's careful quality control with unique minting anomalies, coins that would later make headlines and find their way into prestigious auctions. Among the most prized varieties of the 1977 Lincoln penny are those exhibiting doubling on the obverse, especially on "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date. These double die errors occur when the design is accidentally imprinted twice on the coin die at slightly offset angles, creating a ghost-like effect of overlapping letters and numbers. To collectors, these coins are not mistakes but rare works of art born out of imperfection. Even minor doubling can make a 1977 penny highly desirable. Some of the most dramatic examples show crisp doubling visible even to the naked eye, giving the coin an unmistakable character that separates it from millions of its ordinary counterparts. These coins are a testament to how the smallest details can transform a common object into a treasure worth thousands, but doubling isn't the only rare occurrence in the 1977 series. Off-center strikes are another category of minting error that have fascinated numismatists for decades. These coins were struck when the blank planchet was not properly centered in the press, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing or shifted dramatically to one side. Depending on how much of the design is visible, such coins can command impressive premiums among collectors who prize the uniqueness of each off-center strike. Then there are the proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint, bearing the S mint mark. Proof coins are not made for circulation but are crafted for collectors using special polished dies and planchets that give them mirror-like surfaces and incredible detail. The 1977 S-proof penny is a thing of beauty, with its deep reflective fields and frosted devices, a perfect representation of minting artistry. Even among proof coins, errors can occur. Missing mint marks, doubling, or cameo contrasts can dramatically increase a proof penny's desirability and value. A 1977 S-proof Lincoln cent with strong cameo contrast and flawless surfaces can be worth far more than its modest face value, especially when certified in high grades by PCGS or NGC. The beauty of the 1977 penny is that it bridges an important era in U.S. coinage, the time before the dramatic changes of the 1980s. The 1970s represented the last years when pennies were made almost entirely of copper. Just a few years later, rising copper prices forced the mint to experiment with new materials, eventually leading to the copper-plated zinc composition we know today. That means the 1977 penny stands as one of the last of the pure copper cents, a true piece of numismatic nostalgia. High-grade 1977 pennies graded MS67 or higher are rare, and their population in certified condition is extremely limited. Combine such perfection with an error or a double-die variety, and you have a coin that can fetch staggering sums at auction. Over the years, stories have surfaced of ordinary people discovering rare 1977 Lincoln pennies in pocket change or old coin jars, coins that turned out to be worth small fortunes. That's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know what history might be hiding in your own home. The market for Lincoln cents has only grown stronger over time. Collectors appreciate them not only for their affordability and accessibility but also for their deep historical significance. Each year's design connects to over a century of American tradition, from Brenner's original portrait to Gasparo's symbolic memorial. Even today, with billions of pennies in circulation, the 1977 issue remains one of the most examined years among enthusiasts. Every coin roll search, every magnifying glass inspection carries the hope of uncovering a forgotten treasure, a 1977 penny that defies the odds and stands apart from the rest. Lincoln's face on the penny reminds us of integrity, perseverance, and the power of vision. His story is one of rising from humble beginnings to change a nation forever, and it's fitting that his image graces the coin most Americans have touched. The 1977 penny, though small, continues to carry that legacy of endurance and unity. For many collectors, the 1977 Lincoln cent is more than just copper and numbers, it's a piece of Americana. It's a reminder that even in the smallest, most overlooked things, greatness can be found. The coin's enduring appeal lies in its blend of beauty, history, and the eternal thrill of discovery, and what makes this story even more captivating is knowing that a simple coin you might hold every day could be worth an incredible amount of money if it happens to be one of the rare varieties or in pristine condition. The fascination never fades because the possibility always remains. Some rare 1977 pennies have achieved astounding results at auctions, with collectors competing fiercely for the finest specimens. It's a reflection of how passion and history intertwine in the world of numismatics, where even a 1-cent piece can become a priceless artifact. So, the next time you come across a penny from 1977, take a closer look. Examine the date, the mint mark, the lettering. Every detail could tell a story. You never know if you might be holding a small fortune in your hands, hidden behind that familiar copper glow. The United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny 1977, with its blend of rarity, charm, and historical value, stands as a timeless treasure in the world of coins. It reminds us that greatness can come from the most ordinary of things, and that sometimes, the smallest coin can hold the biggest story. The rare and extraordinary United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny 1977 has been valued at $115,000. If you have a coin like this or any other rare one, tell us about it in the comments so we can share more information about your coin. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, comment below, and like this video so you never miss another incredible story from the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Top 4. The story of the United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny 1980 begins in an era of transition, when the country was moving from one decade to another, from the simplicity of the 1970s to the innovation of the 1980s. It was a time when pocket change still told the story of American craftsmanship, and every coin represented a small piece of history. Among these, the 1980 Lincoln penny stands as a fascinating relic, carrying both tradition and change within its small copper form. The Lincoln cent had already become a familiar friend to Americans by 1980. Since its introduction in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the coin had remained in continuous production. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure instead of a symbolic image, and over the decades, it evolved into one of the most beloved coins in American history. By the year 1980, the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, created by Frank Gasparo in 1959, had already been in use for over 2 decades. Its detailed depiction of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., was a tribute not only to the man himself but to the ideals of freedom and unity he stood for. On every penny, beneath the words, United States of America, and E Pluribus Unum, the memorial appeared with such fine precision that even the seated statue of Lincoln could be seen if you looked closely. The obverse of the 1980 penny retained the classic design by Victor David Brenner, a side profile of Abraham Lincoln with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," above his head, "Liberty," to his left, and the date, 1980, to his right. This simple yet powerful design had endured for generations, symbolizing stability in a world that was constantly changing. The 1980 Lincoln penny was struck from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, one of the last years to feature this traditional alloy before the U.S. Mint shifted to a primarily zinc core in 1982. That makes the 1980 penny one of the final examples of the heavy, rich-colored copper cents that collectors cherish today. The feel, the sound, and even the look of these older cents are distinctly different from the newer ones we use today. Production of the 1980 penny took place at 3 mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins were issued without a mint mark, Denver coins bore the small d below the date, and the San Francisco Mint struck proof coins with an S mark for collectors. Each of these mints produced millions of coins, but only a few would eventually become rare treasures worth a fortune. In 1980, the Philadelphia Mint began including its mint mark, P, on certain denominations for the first time, but not on pennies. So, a 1980 Lincoln cent without a mint mark means it was made in Philadelphia. Denver, as always, played a major role, with hundreds of millions of 1980 D pennies entering circulation across the country. Despite their massive mintages, a few rare varieties and errors have turned ordinary coins into remarkable collector's items. One of the most sought-after varieties from 1980 is the double die obverse. On these coins, you can see clear doubling in the inscriptions, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or the date, 1980. This doubling happens when the coin's design is accidentally impressed twice at slightly different angles onto the die. To the untrained eye, it may look like a shadow or blur, but to collectors, it's a thrilling discovery worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Other error types from the 1980 penny series include off-center strikes, where the coin design is misaligned due to the planchet not being properly seated in the press. Depending on how much of the design is visible, these coins can fetch significant value, especially if both the date and mint mark remain visible. Each one is completely unique, making them prized possessions among error coin enthusiasts. Then there are die cracks and cuds, small but fascinating minting imperfections caused by wear or damage to the dies used in production. A die crack appears as a raised line on the surface of the coin, while a cud looks like a missing portion of the design where the metal has filled in a damaged area of the die. These details make each coin tell its own story of the minting process and give them special appeal to collectors. A particularly intriguing discovery among 1980 Lincoln cents involves transitional planchets. On rare occasions, blank coins from another denomination, like a dime or foreign coin, found their way into the press. These wrong planchet errors are easy to spot once you know what to look for. The coin might be smaller, thinner, or lighter than a regular penny. Finding one of these is like uncovering a mistake frozen in time. Collectors also pay close attention to the condition of a 1980 penny. Circulated coins have seen the wear and tear of daily life, but uncirculated examples, especially those graded mint state, MS, 67 or higher, can command exceptional prices. Coins with strong luster, sharp details, and clean surfaces are the ones that make collectors' hearts race. Proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint in 1980 are another story altogether. These were never meant for circulation but for collectors who valued perfection. Proof pennies are made using specially polished dies and planchets, producing a mirror-like finish that reflects light beautifully. A flawless 1980 S-proof Lincoln cent with deep cameo contrast between the frosted design and shiny background can be a stunning sight to behold. Beyond the errors and varieties, the 1980 Lincoln penny also captures a moment in history. The late 1970s and early 1980s were a time of economic change in America. Inflation was high, the cost of living was rising, and even the value of metals used in coinage was being re-evaluated. The U.S. Mint knew that the cost of producing copper pennies was becoming unsustainable. That's why just 2 years later, in 1982, the mint shifted to a cheaper composition, zinc-coated with a thin layer of copper. This makes the 1980 penny not only collectible but also symbolic. It marks the end of an era when pennies truly contained their worth in metal. When you hold one in your hand, you're holding one of the last pure copper cents ever made in the United States. For coin enthusiasts, the 1980 penny represents the perfect balance between vintage charm and modern collectability. It's old enough to be nostalgic but recent enough to still be found in circulation, waiting for a lucky finder to recognize its potential value. Many people have reported discovering valuable varieties in coin rolls or old change jars, reminding us that treasures still exist in everyday places. The thrill of coin collecting lies in discovery. Each coin tells a story, of history, of artistry, and of human error. The 1980 Lincoln penny embodies all three. It's not just a coin, it's a conversation piece, historical artifact, and a possible fortune hiding in plain sight. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse serves as a timeless reminder of perseverance and leadership. His calm, noble expression continues to inspire generations, reminding Americans of the importance of integrity and equality. Even the smallest coin carrying his image stands as a tribute to his enduring legacy. Collectors often look for full red examples of the 1980 penny, where the coin retains its bright, original copper color. Over time, many copper coins tone to brown or red-brown shades due to oxidation, but a fully red penny from 1980 in pristine condition is a rare find indeed. Such coins can bring surprisingly high premiums at auction. Some 1980 pennies also exhibit what's known as proof-like qualities, business strike coins that show unusually strong reflectivity and detail, resembling proof coins even though they were intended for circulation. These special pieces are often discovered by keen-eyed collectors who know how to spot subtle brilliance. When evaluating a 1980 Lincoln penny, experts consider several factors: strike quality, luster, surface preservation, and color. A flawless coin with blazing luster and no visible contact marks can easily reach top grades from grading services like PCGS or NGC, dramatically increasing its value. The rare and extraordinary United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny 1980 has been valued at $100,000. If you have a coin like this or any other rare one, tell us about it in the comments so we can share more information about your coin. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, comment below, and like this video so you never miss another incredible story from the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Top 5. The story of the United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny 1985 begins with a tiny copper-colored coin that millions of Americans once carried in their pockets, purses, and change jars without realizing that a few special examples would one day capture the fascination of collectors around the world. Though it was small in size, this humble coin holds a legacy of history, transition, and the spirit of a nation that treasures even its smallest symbols of value. By 1985, the Lincoln cent had already been in production for more than 7 decades. Since 1909, when the U.S. Mint first released the coin to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it had become one of the most iconic coins in circulation. The portrait of Lincoln, America's beloved 16th president, was designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, famously appeared on the reverse of the earliest issues. The Lincoln cent was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, marking the beginning of a new era in American coin design. Over the years, the Lincoln penny evolved, but its essence remained the same. In 1959, to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint replaced the wheat ears reverse with a new design by Frank Gasparo. This updated reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., a structure that immortalizes the president's legacy of unity and freedom. When you look closely at the reverse, you can even see the small seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a subtle but powerful tribute to the man himself. By the mid-1980s, the penny had undergone another important transformation, this time in its composition. Starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint changed the metal content from 95% copper and 5% zinc to a core of 97.5% zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. This shift was driven by rising copper prices, which made it too expensive for the mint to continue producing pure copper cents. Thus, the 1985 penny is made mostly of zinc, a change that forever altered the weight, sound, and feel of America's smallest coin. The obverse of the 1985 penny still featured Lincoln's timeless profile, his gaze steady and thoughtful. Above his head are the words, "In God We Trust," to his left the word, "Liberty," and to his right the date, 1985. These inscriptions have appeared on every Lincoln cent since 1909, serving as a constant reminder of America's ideals and values. The reverse continued to showcase Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial, detailed with the same intricate precision that coin collectors love to admire. The inscriptions, United States of America, and E Pluribus Unum, crown the top, while the denomination, 1 cent, appears boldly at the bottom. Even though billions of 1985 pennies were minted, the artistry and symbolism of this design make each coin a miniature work of American history. The 1985 Lincoln penny was produced at 3 different U.S. mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint struck coins without a mint mark, the Denver mint used a D, and the San Francisco mint issued proof coins with an S. While all 3 versions are collectible, certain errors and high-grade examples from each mint have become incredibly valuable. The Philadelphia Mint's 1985 pennies, though common in number, have yielded some of the most remarkable minting errors of the series. One of the most famous is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions or date appear doubled due to a misalignment during die creation. When visible, this doubling creates a ghost-like effect on words such as liberty or in God we trust, and these varieties can fetch significant prices among coin collectors. Another fascinating variety from this year is the 1985 D Lincoln penny with a repunched mint mark, where the D was accidentally punched twice into the die. Although this error is small, it represents the meticulous craftsmanship and human involvement behind coin production, an art form that leaves room for beautiful imperfections. In addition to double dies and repunched mint marks, the 1985 Lincoln penny series also includes other rare and valuable minting errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and broad strikes. Off-center coins occur when the blank planchet isn't perfectly aligned under the press, resulting in part of the design being missing or misaligned. The more dramatic the misalignment, while still showing the date, the more valuable the coin becomes. Clipped planchet errors, where a portion of the coin's edge is missing due to a misfeed during blank cutting, are also highly collectible. Each of these unusual errors tells the story of the minting process and reminds us that even the most technologically advanced operations are still subject to human and mechanical quirks. The 1985 S-proof pennies stand apart as some of the finest examples of coin artistry from this period. Proof coins are made using specially polished dies and planchets, producing mirror-like surfaces and sharp, frosted details. These coins were not made for circulation but for collectors who valued perfection and beauty in every detail. A flawless 1985 S-proof Lincoln cent with deep cameo contrast, where Lincoln's portrait appears frosted against a reflective background, can be breathtaking to behold. For collectors, condition is everything. Coins are graded based on their state of preservation, from heavily worn circulated examples to pristine mint state coins. The 1985 penny, though common in lower grades, becomes far scarcer and more valuable as the grade increases. A perfectly struck 1985 penny with full original luster and no visible marks can reach exceptional prices at auction. Grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, certify and grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70. A 1985 penny graded MS-68 or higher is an incredible rarity, representing one of the finest surviving examples. These high-grade coins often attract intense bidding wars among serious collectors. The color of the copper plating also plays a major role in determining value. Pennies are categorized by color: red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN. A bright, fully red example from 1985 is the most desirable, since it shows the coin's original brilliance as it left the mint. Over time, oxidation darkens the copper surface, so finding a true red 1985 penny in perfect condition is no easy feat. Beyond condition and rarity, the 1985 penny holds sentimental and historical appeal. It represents the continuation of America's longest-running coin design, linking generations through a shared symbol of perseverance and unity. For many collectors, it's not just about value, it's about preserving a piece of everyday history that millions once overlooked. Every Lincoln cent carries the weight of its namesake's legacy. Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator, stands as a symbol of honesty, leadership, and equality. His presence on the penny is more than decorative, it's a reflection of national character. The 1985 penny reminds us of those values and how they endure even in the smallest tokens of commerce. Stories abound of ordinary people finding rare 1985 Lincoln cents in pocket change, tucked away in drawers, or discovered in coin rolls. The idea that a simple penny could turn out to be worth thousands ignites the imagination. This excitement fuels the passion of coin collectors everywhere, the thrill of the hunt and the possibility of discovery. The late 20th century was also a time of technological evolution in minting. The shift to zinc-based coins in 1982 brought new challenges, including plating bubbles, weak strikes, and die deterioration. These flaws sometimes resulted in unique coins with unusual features that today are prized by era collectors. Another intriguing aspect of the 1985 penny is its transitional nature. It bridges the old and the new. It belongs to the era of modern minting technology but still carries the classic design that began decades earlier. It's both familiar and historic, representing continuity in an ever-changing world. Over the decades, the Lincoln Memorial reverse has become a nostalgic icon. When the reverse design changed in 2009 to commemorate the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth, collectors look back fondly on coins like the 1985 penny as part of a long and beloved chapter in U.S. numismatic history. High-grade examples of the 1985 penny have sold at auctions for impressive amounts. Collectors recognize that perfection is rare, especially in a coin that was mass-produced and circulated widely. These coins stand as shining examples of what patience, preservation, and passion for history can yield. Even though most 1985 pennies remain in circulation, the few that have survived in flawless condition, or with striking mint errors, are worth far more than their humble denomination. They prove that sometimes, greatness hides in plain sight, in something as small as a 1-cent piece. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a journey through history, art, and human craftsmanship. The 1985 Lincoln penny embodies all these elements. It's a symbol of endurance, of how something so small can carry such a lasting legacy. For those who cherish the stories behind coins, the 1985 penny is a reminder that value doesn't always depend on size or metal content. It depends on history, rarity, and the emotions these tiny relics evoke when held in your hand.